Cineuniverse Explained presents The Ritual. Four friends set out toward an ancient forest, a place people have only heard about in stories. But there is something in that place that doesn't want anyone to return. Is it a mere delusion or something else? The film begins with five friends: Luke, Dom, Phil, Hutch, and Rob. They are all sitting in a pub, joking around and talking about going on a holiday. Dom says, "Let's do something adventurous this time. Let's go somewhere." Rob suggests, "Let's go to Sweden for hiking." The other friends hesitate a bit, but everyone likes the idea. Cut to an evening scene. Luke and Rob stop at a liquor store. The other friends stay outside, but the atmosphere inside the shop suddenly changes. Two masked robbers are already present in the shop. They have threatened the shopkeeper. Luke hides in a corner, but Rob stays standing right there. The robbers demand Rob's wallet and valuables, and then they demand his wedding ring. Rob refuses. In a fit of rage, one robber pulls out a machete and stabs Rob repeatedly. Luke watches everything but is unable to do anything out of fear. Rob dies on the spot. Luke was watching everything hidden in the corner, but due to fear, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't help his friend Rob even if he wanted to, and this guilt starts breaking him from the inside. 6 months later, we now see the four friends who have come on a hiking trip to the northern mountains of Sweden. This is the same trip that Rob had planned, and now these people have set out to complete this trip in his memory. The most grieving is Luke. Every moment he feels that if he had done something that night, Rob would be alive. In one scene, the four friends sit on a small hill, holding a flask of wine and remembering Rob. The next day, the hiking begins. While walking on the track, the weather starts getting bad and the path becomes very difficult. Then, on a climb, Dom's foot slips and his ankle gets badly twisted. Now he is unable to walk properly. To save time and seeing Dom's condition, Hutch takes out a map and suggests a shortcut that goes straight through a dense and unknown forest. Luke is unhappy with this decision. He says, "If we get stuck in this forest or something happens, we won't even be able to ask for help." But seeing Dom's condition, everyone else agrees to take the shortcut. Dom, who is the most injured and tired, insists that they should take the shortcut path. The others also feel this is right, and the four friends move toward that unknown forest. As they go deeper into the forest, the atmosphere becomes strange. After walking some distance, they see a dead animal hanging from a tree. It is a deer-like animal, an elk. Its body is hanging upside down in the air, and the body is badly mangled and drenched in blood. It looked as if it had been killed just a few hours ago. The four friends are scared, but they don't understand anything. Dom says, "Maybe it's the work of a hunter. Move forward." Luke doesn't feel right about it, but everyone moves ahead. A little further away, they see a strange sign made on a tree, a shape like an ancient Nordic rune. Seeing it, Hutch guesses that it could be the mark of a local tribe or a hunter. At that moment, the rain intensifies. The four friends move quickly to escape the rain. Then they see an old, dilapidated cabin in the middle of the forest. These people, soaked in rain and tired, feel relieved. Luke tries to open the door first, but it is locked. After some effort, he pushes the door hard and opens it. As soon as he comes inside, he hears a strange, faint whispering sound from the forest side, but he ignores it and goes inside. Inside the cabin, there was a strange silence and the smell of stale wood. The walls and floor were rotting. It looked like this place hadn't been used for years. Then Hutch sees the same symbol on the wall in a corner that was made on the tree. And then their eyes fall on a strange statue kept in a high corner. It was a human-like figure without a head, but in place of its head, a structure like deer antlers was made. Its legs were human, but the posture was like some unknown worship. Seeing it, everyone shudders. Phil mumbles, "What is this, man? This statue doesn't look like it's made for humans." Seeing it, the four friends clearly start feeling that something is wrong in this forest. But the rain was very heavy and there was no other way, so they are forced to stay in that cabin. But no one gets a peaceful sleep. Luke suddenly has a dream. He sees himself once again inside the same shop where Rob died. He runs and suddenly his eyes open. But now he is actually standing outside the cabin. He looks down in fear. Blood is coming out of his chest. Luke runs back inside and sees that the other friends are also not okay. Dom is sitting in a corner crying loudly. Phil is standing shivering, completely drenched in sweat, as if he doesn't even remember where he is. And the scariest thing? Hutch is missing. Luke goes to the upper part of the cabin to find Hutch, and there he sees Phil. He is sitting on his knees without clothes in front of that scary statue, as if involved in some worship or sacrifice. Luke shakes him, calls out to him. Phil comes to his senses, but he also doesn't remember how he reached there. The next moment, the four friends understand that leaving this place immediately is the only way. Everyone packs their stuff. Now there is fear, shame, and heaviness in everyone's eyes. As they come out of the cabin and move ahead in the forest, they start seeing even more strange symbols and marks on the trees. At every step, they start feeling that something is following them. The forest is watching them. Now the four friends start looking for a way out of the forest under the shadow of fear. Looking at the map, Luke says that the right way to get out of the forest is in the southwest direction. But everyone's attention is on Dom's condition, whose leg has now become even worse. On the way, Luke talks about the strange dream he had at night. He says that he saw the shop where Rob died again, and this time he was standing outside the cabin. Phil says, "Brother, this is all trauma. You are thinking too much." Dom says irritably, "We are all tired. Now, there is no point in spreading fear with these talks." The day goes on, fatigue increases. Dom's pain has now become unbearable, and he sits down at one place. Hutch says, "We shouldn't stop. This place doesn't feel right." Then Luke looks around and he sees some movement in the middle of the forest. He sees a very tall, strange figure in the darkness behind a tree. For a moment, he sees some terrifying animal whose build seems to be between human and animal. Luke is badly frightened and runs back to his friends. He says, panting, "Someone was there, something very big. It wasn't human." But the other friends consider his talk a delusion. Luke shows the claw marks on his chest. Even seeing it, Dom says, "You must have hit a branch. Don't get scared." An argument starts between Dom and Luke. Dom screams, "It's because of you we are stuck here. Every time you are the one who scares us." In anger, Luke picks up his bag and starts moving forward alone. The other friends also follow him silently with a heavy heart. After going a little further, they see something buried in the ground, as if someone has hidden something. When they take it out together, they find that it is an old camping tent, which is now almost rotten. Near the tent, they find a bag which has a wallet and some items. When Luke opens the wallet, he finds a photo and an old credit card. The expiry date of the credit card is 1984. Seeing this, everyone's face falls. They realize that someone had come to this forest many years ago and probably could never return. Phil says fearfully, "If those people also never returned, what will happen to us?" Dom, who was the most irritable until now, becomes completely silent under the effect of fear for the first time. Luke falls into thought. Was it the same family whose statue was in the cabin? Is there some power in this forest that doesn't let anyone go outside? Now it was night, and it was not possible to walk in the forest. The four try to sleep by putting up their own tents, but everyone was scared from inside. In the middle of the night, Luke has that scary dream again. He sees himself again in that shop where Rob died. This time, he feels even more helpless. Suddenly, his eyes open, and he hears the sound of someone screaming outside. He quickly opens the zip of the tent and sees Phil standing outside, badly frightened. Luke asks, "What happened?" Phil says in a trembling voice, "Hutch, someone took him away. It wasn't a human. It was something very big." Luke and the other two friends run to Hutch's tent and find that the tent is completely torn, and Hutch is missing. Dom says fearfully, "We are all going to die." Luke calms everyone down, and they all set out to find Hutch while calling out, but they can't see anything in the dark and between the trees. Exhausted, they start returning, but by now they are lost deep in the forest. The next morning, Luke sees something strange hanging from a tree. It is Hutch's body. It looked as if someone had hunted him like an animal and hung him there. Dom and Phil's condition worsens. Luke silently catches Hutch's feet from below, and they take down his body. Now they clearly start to understand. This is not an animal. It is something else, and it is still around us. That corpse was hanging from a tree, exactly as they had seen that dead deer hanging before. But this time, it was their own friend Hutch. He was hung upside down at a height in the tree very brutally. It looks like a predator animal had displayed its prey. Seeing his condition, everyone is stunned. They move ahead from there with a heavy heart, after covering Hutch's body with some sticks and stones. After walking a little more, Luke feels like someone is following them. Now everyone understands that all this had started from that cabin. On the way, they see a river or a small water source. Then Luke's eyes fall on human footprints in the mud. Now it is completely decided. There are more people in this forest, or something else. Luke says, "I'll climb the hill and see. Maybe I'll find a way." He climbs and reaches a peak. From there, the forest is seen spread far and wide. But in one direction, he sees a slight open space, maybe the edge of the forest. Luke sees a ray of hope, but as soon as he returns, he sees that Phil is not there. Dom says fearfully, He was right here just a few seconds ago. Suddenly, he disappeared. Luke looks around. Phil's voice echoes in the forest and then falls silent. They try to run from there, but while running, Luke hits a tree and becomes unconscious. And then the same shop comes before his eyes. Rob's death. The same shops, the same pain. But as soon as his eyes open, he finds himself tied up in a dark room. Both are now inside a wooden cabin, and their bodies are tied with ropes. Luke looks around, and people like a tribe are moving. Then an old woman comes to Luke. She sees those mysterious marks on his chest that the creature had made earlier. Without saying anything, she gives him water to drink and shows the same symbol again. But Dom is given nothing. Luke says angrily, "Give water to my friend, too." But the old woman ignores him and leaves. Dom is taken to the upper part of the cabin. Luke is scared because now even Dom's screams were not audible. After some time, a young girl, who doesn't seem to be a member of that tribe, quietly comes to Luke. She whispers, "Your friend is being prepared for sacrifice, for that ancient creature we call Moder." Then Dom is brought down. Now his condition had become bad. Injuries on his face, wounds on his body, and defeat in his heart. Dom says, trembling, "Luke, if you can get out of here alive, burn this cabin." The next morning, Dom is tied to a wooden pole outside. The whole tribe is standing, and everyone is waiting for Moder to appear. Dom is trembling with fear, but does not lose his courage. Luke is trying to free himself from inside, and then Moder comes. A giant monster, half human, half animal-like shape, long horns, many hands, and a scary face that shines even in the darkness. The whole tribe bows down. Moder goes straight to Dom, and Dom's sacrifice is taken. Luke takes advantage of this opportunity and cuts his rope with a piece of glass. Then, the same girl who had brought him water before comes to him quietly. Luke says to her, "Will you take my friend Dom down from the tree?" The girl replies slowly, "No, we don't touch dead bodies." Luke asks about that monster. The girl explains, "He is no ordinary creature. He is the god of this forest. We have been worshipping him for centuries. He never caused us any harm, but has given us immortality." Luke is shocked. Immortality? The girl explains, "Every year we offer him sacrifice, and he gives us life. He only chooses those who are broken from within, who are living with some guilt. You also have the same pain inside you, Luke. That's why he has chosen you too." Luke now understood deeply why he was brought here. The girl says, "Now you become part of our worship. If you bow down on your knees, you will accept him. Otherwise, you too will be hung from a tree." Luke was trembling. This was the last decision for him. After thinking for a while, he silently moves toward the upper room. There he sees hundreds of years old dried corpses, which still seem to have some life left. He understands. These are all the people who worship that monster and are now immortal. Luke now takes a final decision. He sets fire to all the corpses and comes down and starts going out. Then that old woman sees him. Luke quickly runs to another room where he finds a rifle or an old gun. He kills a man with the gun who comes to block his way. But then he sees that the monster kills that girl because she had broken the rules. Now Luke runs, even fires bullets at that monster, but it has no effect. He runs once more, and again he has that shop dream. Because of that dream, he stops for a moment. Then that monster catches him. Luke is thrown to the ground, and a new ritual is started by putting hands on him. But Luke sees an axe nearby. He quickly picks it up and attacks that monster. With a loud scream, the monster retreats. Luke now runs with full strength, and after going some distance, he sees the edge of the forest. Now he had come out. The monster was standing deep inside the forest, screaming in anger, but he couldn't come out. Luke was free now. He moves forward and sees some vehicles far away. This meant he had now reached near the city. And in this way, Luke comes out of that terrifying forest alive. If you liked this story, then like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss more such thrilling stories. Press the bell icon so that next time when we take you to some scary forest again, you are the first one with us.